$5 game. I worked for 10. Give it to Dad.
I would have grabbed it. Okay. Dad was putting this.
Oh crap. Hello everyone. Today I'm doing a stream actually, and am I live? I should be live and ready to go. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can find myself streaming. See if I'm actually streaming. Am I streaming? Battle. It says I'm live. Stream hub. Welcome back. Still have any questions? Been streaming for apparently 8 minutes, but no, I really haven't. What? It works. Okay, there's a little bit of a delay, but we're just gonna play. I'm playing with a friend of mine, and I'm gonna. Well, crap. I gotta turn. So we're gonna play assault mode, and we're going to invite him. Enter battle. Invite him. Let's go. Cards, racetrack. I don't know what to put that. I kind of want that, but I need the monkey. There we go. No, not that. I'll take that. I'm gonna wait for him now. And we're gonna spy on him. Be really cheeky. Resend it. Oh, crap. It's not my spy. And my thing. Resend it. It's great. Awesome. This makes me mad. Makes me really mad. You hear me in the background? Yeah, that was me. My God, I sound horrible on the stream, but we're gonna send that to him again. Patch, I love Patch, but we're gonna see what he wants. See. I got our chat room up in here. We're not live, but I can make it start voice chat, but we're not going to do that. You know, I'm gonna start voice chat and see if he will know or not. It's not working. Crap. Oh, never mind. Are you kidding me? Are you literally kidding me? I just ended it. Oh my God. Challenge. Hope he joins. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting. And waiting some more. And waiting some more. And waiting some more. There we go, I think he's in. No. What? What? Still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Do that, okay, he'll tell me yes or no. Thus. I tried to type this, but it typed thus. You kidding me? Yeah, you're kidding me? You got me. I'm gonna punch everything in the face. Punch the computer. I just had it going. I didn't even know I was talking at the beginning of it, but then nobody's even watching it. He's great. Sure, okay. Okay, so we're gonna grab a dart monkey. That. And we're gonna grab this because there's no more. Let's see. That is a perfect roll right there. Fire. Ooh, banana. We basically have the same thing. Basically. I don't know. Dart monkey. Push it over there. Start dots and stuff. Wait. Ooh, we got a balloon chipper. Yeah, I think that's right. Here, I'll check right now. Balloon chipper, yeah. So, yeah, he got the balloon chipper. Best gameplay 2017. It's such a slow gameplay until you get to like around like 8, and then it's like, place that down, place that down. Oh no, 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 lost life, lost life. Oh, my stuff isn't working very well. What? I don't know if you guys can actually see it or not. I'm like, what? What does he mean by that? My headset. Wait, are you streaming? Are you streaming? Are you streaming? What the heck? He's typing. No, I'm recording now. Okay, but is your mic working? Okay, but is your mic working? I need to know this. This is something I know. Cool. Cool. Great. My God. Yeah, now it's working. Okay. Good. I was trying to pick that up. I was like, give it. Have to turn off the mic for a second. People are coming. Yeah, sorry about the weird mic drop out there. People were coming through my kitchen. They were really loud, so I had to turn off my mic for a second. You might have been able to hear it. You know what? Here, I'm gonna go check if I was able to hear it. Unmute live. I'm wondering. Yeah, it was very loud. That was extremely loud. Are you streaming? Yes. Yes. I said it really weird. Like, yes. Are you gonna watch my stream? No, I don't think you are. At least I hope I'm streaming. I think I am because I just watched my stream. So I don't know if I'm streaming. Crap. Oh, there's those. So I gotta break pop those. I said pop. No, I said break. And I was like, did I really just do that? Get them! Get them! Get them! Get them all! The button. What the heck? Okay, I kept. No, you can be live. Watch myself. But this is the first time I'm doing a stream. I may have like put up like a 1 second stream. I may have done like a 1 second stream, but that was just looking at the stream stuff. It started just like this one did. I was preparing the stream though. I was trying to get the stream key. There we go. I said it right this time. Oh crap! Gotta break all that. Pop all of it. Why do I keep saying that? I keep saying pop, break. I keep saying break instead of pop, which is what I should be saying. This makes me so mad. I want to completely destroy the game. I want to break the game. I'm so mad. I'm gonna upload a video. I'm going to die though. Yeah, goodbye life. I was gonna say well done, but good game. I'll go again. Again? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna play a few games of this. This. Okay. He likes it probably because there's large quantities of water. He likes maps with water, so he can use the sub, which I like doing as well. I can never figure out if the pellets. Oh wait a second. Darn. We'll keep that. I'm gonna upload while streaming. I'm going to upload that vlog part 2 thing because I still haven't uploaded that. People are gonna be mad, mainly EA Cigarette Gamer, because eventually he'll probably be like, dude, where's the part 2? Post part 1 like a week ago, where's part 2? He will do that. He will literally do that, so I'm gonna upload a video. Mobile. On your mobile device. Where's it? There it is. Straight 5-minute video. Title. Gave you a little head start about the part 2. 2-part thing. Yeah, we don't have any snow now. We're gonna go back to school, which is horrible. We're gonna name this Let me name it. Title SS no. I'm done. Tablet is lagging. I think I know why. Because it's connected to the same internet that my computer's connected up to, and it's streaming. Well, there's nobody watching the stream, but still, people hopefully will watch this video. I wanna eventually get onto YouTube. Whenever I stream, there's actually people watching it. I wanna get to that point on YouTube. Whenever that starts to happen, whenever you stream, people will actually start watching your stream. Nobody watching my stream yet. I don't think so. Watching now, one. Probably myself. Who is watching? Who's watching? Who's watching? If you tell me, I add you mod. Unless it's like myself watching it, then I'm the owner. Yeah. Change thumbnail. Point out against battles. Stream help alive. That's all it's telling me. I'm just watching the stream. Did I die yet? No. I still have 50. So, I just realized I hit the mic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that one. Buy all that. Get some quick eco. Go for it. Go for the kill. Go for the kill. Oh my god, I have to kill out the mic again? My god. They keep running through the kitchen. No, actually, I don't think I have to. I will if needed, though. I will if needed. Yeah, they're in here. Don't lie. My gosh. Somebody who went in the kitchen was like, started saying, more like that. Really weird. My brother just went in there and started screaming. I don't know what he was screaming about, but I don't want to know. Twin guns. They still says that. I think it is meh. I think it is meh. What the heck happened? Now you know my strength. Now I know all of your towers. Do you know all of my towers? No. Yeah. But you can barely even see him, except for his stuff. Like, where are you coming from? Squeaky chair. Hashtag squeaky chair. Hashtag squeaky chair. Hashtag all the squeaky chairs. 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 Go! I'm sad. This is gonna kill me. survived that. That was amazing. I can't even survive this, but I can survive that without taking a single heart damage. I am the true MVP. Put it down. There we go. Sentry gun, all that stuff. Alright. What about the phone? You know what? BRB real quick. I'm gonna check all of his games, see if we can play different games. I think all we have in common with the games is 2 games, which is Balloon Tower Defense Battle, and Unturned Friends, View Friends List on Selma Smith. So Team Fortress 2, FNAF 4 with Happy Wheels, Castle Crashing, and Unturned, Pirate Caravan Hat, Heroes and Generals, and Balloon Tower Defense Battles. Oh, that's all. Wait, let me click it. Let me. Oh crap. There it is. Accept. What the heck? Play with it. I'll try to get you in. No. Towers and balloons. I shall buy. Wait, are there even any more towers that I can buy the first 2 tiers for? There is one. The Monkey Engineer. Sucks though. Activate. I'm not spending any more medallions on Monkey Engineer too. Come on. It didn't accept, dude. You should be watching the stream. Squeaky chair does whatever a squeaky chair does.